to you live from Roundhouse Studios in Knock'em-Stiff, Ohio. It's American Exceptionalism with Scooter.
He has all the ingredients for disaster.
And El Scorcho.
He wants to be human.
American Exceptionalism is the place to highlight everything exceptional about the greatest nation on the planet.
It's gonna be awesome.
And now, Scooter and El Scorcho.
Take a ride through the country. At about 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon, them country boys head down to the local saloon. You're welcome to stop in and have a cold bottle. Big city boys are stuck up supermodels. We don't care where you're from as long as you polite. Cause push come to shove and every one of us will fight.
Oh yeah.
We mostly easy like Sunday morning. Old Coke came here to give y'all fair warning. Country
yes, sir. Scooter, my man, welcome back to American Exceptionalism.
Good to be back.
Yes, sir. Another great day in the greatest country on the face of the planet.
Can I get an amen?
Roger that, brother. Listen, man, we got a big interview today. We got two guests live and in studio coming up, man. We're going to need to save some time for them. But real quick, man, basic question, paper or plastic? Where you at on that issue?
Are you talking like grocery store?
Yeah, you go through the damn grocery store. They want to give you paper or plastic.
I mean, so if you go plastic, you're what? You're killing some sea mammal?
I don't know, man.
If you're paper, you're killing trees. I just give me my damn groceries and let me get the hell out. I mean,
I'll put it in my arms. I don't need any of that crap.
Yeah. How about like when we're kids? You just make a basket out of your shirt.
Yeah, you pull your
shirt up and put all your shit in the.
Your shirt's your goodie bag,
right? I mean, I don't know. Paper. Are they going back? Did I hear they're going back to paper?
Who knows, man? Now all of a sudden glass is taboo. Are you kidding me? That's like the most biodegradable, reusable thing ever is glass. But then they want to use plastic or some shit. I don't know. I know stuff tastes better in glass, like Snapple. Right? Snapple used to come in a glass.
Snapple. I haven't heard about that stuff in years.
Dude, that stuff used to come in a glass bottle and it tasted terrific. Right? It tasted delicious.
I mean,
now they did away with the glass bottle and it's plastic and it tastes like crap.
Well, hey.
I want some old Snap in the glass.
All Snap in the glass. I mean, I just go to bourbon, right? They don't serve good bourbon in plastic, right? And they don't serve it in paper. So it's in glass. So.
That's right.
I guess that's the next time the grocery when they go paper or plastic. I'm gonna say glass.
Give me glass.
Wine, right? I mean, wine comes in glass bottle. Well, it comes in a box. It comes in a cardboard box, but I'm not messing around with Scooter.
That's a special kind of.
I'm not a wine snob, but I'm not drinking wine out of a cardboard box. But they do say that's the best. It
depends how ugly she is.
They do say that's the easiest way to keep wine fresh. I'm not buying it, but whatever.
In a box.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's got that little plastic tap or whatever, so it lets very minimal air in. You know, you hit the tap and wine comes out. I guess if you pull the cork, air floods in the bottle. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a wine snob.
Well, I ain't ever known a wine bottle to last long enough to get stale. So,
well, I mean, I always, if you open it, drink it. Otherwise, it turns into salad dressing.
Salad dressing.
Right?
Sweet. All right, man. Listen, like I said, we got two guests in studio today. We're going to bring back our old friend, Ed Deem from RKE Trucking. He was in studio about a month ago. Great American success story. We're going to have him back. He brought one of the people that he has mentored along the way, a young man by the name of Wilson Mishlik.
Ed, last time he was in here off channel or off mic or whatever, he was talking about Wilson. I hear Wilson and I just think the movie Castaway. Wilson, right? But I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, hopefully Wilson can live up to the hype.
I think he will. I heard just bits and pieces of his story. It's pretty cool. And for such a young man to achieve this level of success, it's heartwarming, it's refreshing, and it gives hope to everybody out there that's swinging for the fences, trying to make things work. So
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear it, especially with the current state of our country and people. How young is he? He's in his 20s, I guess.
He's in his 20s. I think he's 21, 22, somewhere in that range. Yeah, so it's a good interview. We sit down and talk with him, and like I said, Ed Deem, and we're going to give him as much time as he needs because it's a good story.
All right, well, coming out of the break, we'll get after it with Wilson, not the movie Castaway, not the volleyball.
Not the volleyball.
Hopefully,
stay tuned, folks.
We'll catch you in a minute with Wilson.
Did you know you could earn great money recording voiceovers at home? Hi, this is Ron Allen, owner of Big Voice Productions in Columbus. I teach private voiceover lessons either in my Columbus studio or online. Learn how to use your voice for radio and TV, animation and gaming, audiobooks, and more. Call me direct, 614-404-0359. That's 614-404-0359. We teach you everything about voiceovers at Big Voice Productions.
Hey, we're back, and we got two special guests with us live in studio. Our old friend Ed Dean from RKE Trucking. Buddy, how are you?
Doing great tonight. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. Brought the Widow Jane with you. Thank you. That's awesome.
Pure limestone mineral water.
I looked it up on the internet, so it's good shit.
Comes under the category of good shit.
Good shit.
And we're excited. Ed brought basically a mentor, or you're the mentor, he's the mentee of Ed Deems. He said the last time Ed was with us in one of the breaks, he said, hey, man, you got to get my buddy Wilson on here. He's got a great success story. So here we are about a month later, and we got Wilson Mishik.
Correct. Thank you for having me.
Did I get the last name right?
Yes, sir. Nailed it.
All right, man.
You said that's Polish?
Yes, Polish. Yeah.
All right.
I think one of the cool things about Wilson's story is that how young he is and how successful he's heading down the road. His success of where he's at right now from where he started.
He probably could be, like, he's young enough to be my son, I think.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. He's only, what are you, 25?
22.
22.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My dad the other day, he was like, hey, he's like, how old are you? Dude, I'm 22. He's like, damn, I thought you were 24.
This is your dad that asked you?
Yeah, that was my dad literally like a week ago. We were just driving in the car. I was like telling him about my this upcoming video I want to release on my birthday. And he's like, he's like, damn, you're going to be 24 this year? I'm like, dude, I'm 22. What?
That's a sign of a dad that's worn out.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Ed. Start the story. How'd you meet Wilson?
So Wilson's dad and I were acquaintances in the local township business organization, and he came up to me one day. He goes, "Hey, my boy might be interested in washing your trucks. You need somebody to wash trucks?" And I go, "Yeah, I got somebody to wash trucks. We always need someone to wash trucks. You know, it's kind of a dirty job. It's not something a lot of people enjoy." And so Wilson comes from a higher class neighborhood there, and I said, "Well, send him over here." You know what I mean? I didn't think it'd last too long, but you know what is it? How many years later? 6 years later, he's still tagging along behind us. So.
Well, good. So you started out washing trucks for Ed, right? And then in the break before we started here, you made the comparison. It was like, hey, man, you can come here and make decent money, or you can go work at the local hamburger place and make, minimum wage or whatever.
So the washing trucks deal for us is we have, I think at the time when you started, we had a dozen trucks or something.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Dozen.
Yeah. So, we pay $30 a truck. So these guys come in there and make $300-400 on a weekend washing trucks while their buddies are working all week at the mall making $100 if they could, you know what I mean? And so it was a great thing for him. He was willing to endure the dirt and because like I said, it is one of the dirtiest jobs around as far as you ask me. It'd be a micro thing, you know what I mean? Dirty jobs.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Micro jumped in my head right then. How old were you at the time, Wilson?
16.
Well, take it from there, man. You're 16. Your dad sets you up with Ed. Go ahead, run with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, just coming in, I really didn't know what to expect, but I knew it was going to be dirty. I honestly thought it was kind of like cleaning a car. I didn't know how dirty it was going to be, but I was like, okay, it's kind of maybe something around that a little bit, but came in and kind of was like, yeah, you got the job. Show up here Saturday. So showed up Saturday. I think, honestly, I was in some regular gym clothes, and I think you said, you're like, oh, man, you better wear some clothes that you like that you're not going to want to wear again because you're going to get dirty. Pulls up the first truck with his son, Cody. From then, we just started going on, and yeah, that first truck, I was like, okay, it's not going to take 10 minutes. I think it took me 45 minutes, close to an hour.
To do one truck?
To do one truck. And so, like, my perception of clean trucks changed ever since. It's like, okay, you know what? This isn't as easy as clean as a car. But yeah, been cleaning trucks ever since. And I was like, I realized at the time we had a dozen trucks. Being one person, I did it for a while. It was definitely just hard work because, you're out in the blazing sun. Yeah. You're sweating, and then you got mud flinging at you left and right. I mean, by the time you leave, you're just covered in mud. And
Let me ask you this. Did you wear your best Nikes on day one?
honestly, I think I did. I believe I did. And because I believe, too, I thought I was like, oh, I'll probably like be cleaning inside or something like that. He's like, yep, nope, we got you're cleaning on some gravel out back.
Yeah, on a gravel lot. Now, 16-year-old, you're armed with what? Just a standard power washer.
Yes, sir. It was like a little tank back then. So heavy guy. I mean, we'd have to push it out. It was a 4-wheel little power washer. We'd push it out, hook it up to the hose that was connected from the inside. And we also had to hook up the hose that was connected to the actual power washer itself, the nozzle. So, yeah, it was a process. I'll tell you what, just getting that thing in and out. I mean, now then when I brought my buddy on, it was a lot better because then I had 2 people.
Right. So you brought him on because what? You just started picking up more and more work?
Not honestly. It was just getting tough.
Getting too much for one guy.
And I mean, I was in high school and I was also doing high school sports at the time too. So I mean, I was in football season and then also I had lacrosse season as well. So I was like, you know what? Hey, I was like, if I try to bring, and even you brought up the idea too. He's like, hey, you know, if you bring somebody on, you know, you can start paying them money in your pocket. So I was like, all right, well, I'll start doing that.
Yeah.
And so brought on one of my really good buddies, Ryan Pinnell. Since then, we were just cranking out all the trucks every week, and we come in Friday, get the slingers done, and slingers are usually like, those are the worst because that skid loader on there, it just packed with dirt.
You mean the conveyor belt?
Conveyor belt. That's my bad. Conveyor belt. But we'd come in, get the trucks done, all the slingers done Friday. Saturday morning, we'd wake up, be there at 6 a.m., get started at 6:30, and we'd just finish the rest of the dumps. And like, all right, well, we have the rest of our Saturday night and then all Sunday to enjoy.
If we stop the story right here, 16 years old, look how much he's learned so far, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, he comes in, he picks up an odd job, and he finds out he's making good money.
Yeah.
Better than he would in the mall or at a fast food joint, whatever. But then you tell him, hey, man, if you bring a buddy, you can pay him out of your pocket whatever you want. So now he's getting like
entrepreneur there,
a little entrepreneurship and managerial.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of fun to watch him. They you know, he kind of got it developed. You know, he came up with a system, a plan. You know what I mean? Instead of just going in there and start pulling a truck. And then on top of that, you know, you talk a kid who's never driven anything other than a small car. Now all of a sudden he's moving these big ass dump trucks around a parking lot, and he is fairly intimidated.
He's going from a Honda Civic to a
exactly.
Kenworth.
Yeah,
absolutely. I didn't even know how to drive stick, and like I remember one of the old truckers there. I mean, he was giving me. I couldn't even get in the first gear, and he's like, "You gotta put your damn foot down on the clutch and just put it in." And I was like, kind of freaking out. I was like, I don't know how to do this. Like, but I mean, now stick. I know how to drive stick, which is pretty incredible. But I mean, I love it now. Just like when I get in those trucks, it's like, all right. And
I'll tell you what, that's the best anti-theft device ever invented was a stick shift.
Nowadays, nobody knows how to drive.
You get
a stick,
a car that's standard transmission, right? Not automatic, standard. You could leave your windows down as long as you don't have anything on the front seat. You're good, man.
But you know, something else really cool about these guys. You know, these were kind of the higher class city boys, and you know they didn't let that stop them. You know what I mean? They didn't say I quit. You know what I mean? Wilson kept coming back every year. You know, so it was something crazy. So.
That's awesome. You start out washing trucks, things get busier. You're taking on Ed's fleet. Did you go outside of that, or you just stayed primarily with Ed?
So I stayed primarily with Ed. After a while, I think it was probably my junior, senior year, once the summertime hit, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm pretty good with a power washer. I was like, why don't we take on this side business with power washing homes or power washing driveways? I was running my own little power washing business on the side during the week. And also at the same time too, I was running a landscaping business with my three other buddies. Ed, and he allowed us to use a trailer, to borrow his trailer. So we'd come there early in the morning, pack up that trailer with all of our equipment, and then we'd go out, come back later in the day, unload, just rinse and repeat again. So
shampoo treatment.
Yeah, exactly. But the power washer, I mean, honestly, just getting the flow of just how to clean those trucks. And when you go in to clean a truck, it's a big truck. You're like, wow, there's so many spots of this I have to hit. And so it's after a while, you pick up a routine of how to do it. And so then obviously I just get comfortable with being with a power washer. I was like, okay, wow. If it takes me an hour to do a truck, I mean, how long? I wonder how long it's going to take me to do a driveway. I'm just going through these driveways and through these houses just like butter. I'm like, okay, wow, easy cash, putting right in my pocket. So that was during my week. And then on the weekends was the cleaning trucks. So
that's pretty impressive. He turned a weekend power washing job into a business, right? So you filled your time during the week with the skill set you developed. And then how'd the landscaping come apart? You just figured I can cut grass? Or?
I mean, honestly, we were just we just saw how I guess just the dirty jobs can, pay good. During the winter, I was like, it was me and my 3 other buddies. We were together, and I was like, I think we should try to run our landscape business in the summer, or get together, like just, we'll make flyers, start putting them on Facebook and all that. And next thing you know, we were like, we had 2-3 jobs every day.
Yeah.
Not every day, but every week, and huddled up together. I mean, we were just bringing in cold hard cash. And I mean, being a high schooler, just greedy about money. You're like, oh my God, this is the best thing in the world. You're working hard ass days. I mean, you're working full days, but cash is king. Exactly.
That's right. You get through high school. You get through your senior year, and then what do you do? What's on the plate for you after that?
So the thing was, it was actually kind of interesting because at the end of high school, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. All you hear about everybody committing into colleges. You have to take the, what is it, that
SAT,
ACT.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is because growing up and having dyslexia, school never came easy for me.
Okay.
And so I was always a terrible test taker, where it would take people, 30 minutes to study for. It took me double or even triple the time. And so when it came to the ACT, I mean, I scored probably like a 19 on it. And that's really low for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what? I just kind of contemplated. I was like, is school the right fit for me? And even talking to coming into ed, I would tell them about this all the time. I'm like, what? I just don't know if school's the right thing for me. But at the time, my parents like, what? You got to get an education. We went up to visit some schools. Ball and Wallace was looking at me for lacrosse. So I was like, okay. Went up there with my aunt, my mom. And
up near Cleveland.
Yeah, up in near, it's in Berea. I don't know if you guys been around there, but 20 minutes south of Cleveland.
Right.
But went on a tour, and I was mediocre about it. I was like, yeah, it's nice. My mom and loved the fact that you could get extra help with just having dyslexia, extra time on tests and all that. After like a long thought, they accepted me, and I was like, I guess we're gonna call Ball and Wallace the new home for a little bit. And then so I went to Ball and Wallace after high school. I went there for my freshman year to play lacrosse. And when I got on campus, I mean, I met a lot of amazing people. The lacrosse guys, I mean, a lot of them are still my brothers today, which is great. But I went through, and unfortunate thing about when I first went up there as a freshman is the coach that was recruiting me, when we first got on campus, we found out that he left. He also had like health issues at the time too. So it made sense that he got a new coaching job. It kind of all like made sense that, all right, where he's coaching at now, he just had better coverage, I guess, of everything. But it just also kind of stunk, that the fact that we weren't able to find that out at the moment that he left. So we got a brand new coach when we walked in, and I just decided, I was like, what, I'm just going to see how my fall season goes.
Right.
But for Division III school, I'll tell you what, it was kind of a lot. I mean, it was school, lifting, practice, and then getting out of practice, I think at like 11 o'clock at night sometimes during the fall. And it's like, wow, I'm up to like 2-3 doing my homework, and then I got a 6 a.m. class. Like, I'm like, holy crap, I'm not that motivated.
You cuss on here, Wilson. It's all good.
Yeah, so.
You can drop the F-bomb, buddy.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I was just like, damn, like, honestly, I'm like, I remember calling my dad after like a week and a half in. I'm like, man, I don't think this is fucking for me. Like, I just like.
Didn't take long.
But I'm like,
he's coachable.
Yeah, I'm like, absolutely.
He's been hanging around truck drivers for 6 years.
Exactly.
So how many years did you do the lacrosse thing at Baldwin?
Really, it's just a semester. Okay. I did it for a semester. I just got, and I did really good. I was one of the, there was 2 freshmen, me and my buddy. We were the only ones who started our fall ball season. And
there you go.
I did really good, but at the same time, I was just kind of like very unsure with, is college the right thing for me?
A little overwhelmed.
Yeah, I was very overwhelmed, because it's like, I mean, there was just so much going on that it just didn't feel right. And so after my fall season, stepped away, and I was like, what? I'm just going to focus on school. I was a double major in business management and marketing, and then just finished out that entire year just going through school. After coming in my sophomore year, that summer, actually, I was around my 2 friends who were already into video work. They're Aiden Minton and Bradley Annis. And they're both incredible at what they do. And my one buddy, Aiden, was actually going on tour with Ariana Grande at the time. Just being around them, being around creatives who just have the same mindset.
Easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like just seeing it, like how you could almost come up with an idea and then turn it into a video, which is like, I was like, wow.
Let me stop you. So you say they were doing video work. What were they doing specifically for Ariana Grande?
So they were on tour. So he was just pretty much creating recap videos for all the concerts that they went to.
Okay.
Almost just like promotion for just every city.
What would she turn around and do with these videos then?
Pretty much use them for promotion. So if they were going to a new city, they would pretty much post a video of where they were at, saying, hey, we're coming to this city. Just pretty much marketing, I guess, in a way, just to let people know, like, hey, this is who's coming in town.
Okay. So you got hooked up with those two?
Yes, sir.
And they introduced you to the world of video. How do you say it?
Videography. Yes, sir.
Videography.
Videography.
Come on, Scorch.
Too much Widow Jane. All right,
That limestone.
So you get hooked up with your two buddies, and they say, "Hey, come with us, and we'll kind of lead you into a new direction."
It was more actually me. I was like, hey, like, are you guys okay if I just come and watch you in a way? I was like, I just like, I don't want to be in your way, but I just almost want to be around you, just kind of see how a day in the life of like, editing goes, filming goes. It's crazy because like a year and a half ago today, I remember being with my buddy Aiden, and he was filming a client, and I was just kind of just there, just supervising, and I felt kind of awkward just because I was like, man, hopefully this client doesn't think I'm weird or anything like that. But it was just cool because I just got a glimpse of what it's like pre-production and then seeing what the video was like after post-production.
Okay.
Ever since, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy my camera. Bought my first camera. Just everything changed after that. I went back to Ball and Wallace, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I kind of wanted. I was still in the mixed emotions of like, do I want to come back to lacrosse? Do I not? But I was like, you know what? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the lacrosse team and see if I can start creating hype videos for them.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was like, it worked. The coach was all about it. I had a great relationship with the coach, and he was like, oh, absolutely. They didn't have that. So
the cool thing that hit me just now is he did this once with Ed when he was power washing trucks. He said, man, I'm pretty good with a power washer. Let's see what else I can do with this.
Yeah.
So he filled his time, right? He breaks the ice with videography, right? And he's like, man, I'm starting to figure this out. Let me go back to what I know. Let me go back to this lacrosse team and say, hey, look, man, I can promote you guys.
Absolutely.
And they're on board with it.
He's been really good with that too.
Yeah.
Wilson's been like a sponge, man. I mean, I think right now we got about 40 employees, and so he's almost got 40 mentors, and like he sucks up everything everybody tells him, man. He takes it to heart. He's the one. I mean, I've never seen a young kid that listens and uses and actually applies what you try to teach him.
That's awesome, man. To me, I think that's everything, right?
I mean, that's America. If there was ever America, buddy, that's America right there.
Shut the mouth and open the ears, right? Too many guys, young guys, come into the work environment thinking they should be, the old
Top
adage,
dog, yeah.
You should start on third base when you're standing at the plate. No, you got to get on first base and work your way around.
Yeah, my parents built a house when I was 13 years old. This old general contractor guy did it, and the first thing he said, he goes, keep your mouth shut and pay attention to what I'm doing, or you might learn something.
There you go. There you go. So Wilson's kept his mouth shut. He's got his ears open. You're in the world of videography. Sophomore year at Baldwin Wallace, you're doing hype videos for the lacrosse team. Where does that lead you from there? Do you start getting some recognition for it? Or
at the time, yeah. I started with, after we talked and I kind of brought this proposal to him, he's like, oh, absolutely. Why don't you come and film our workout today? And so I filmed the workout today, and after that, the team was like, wow, like, I love this. It was just cool seeing like us actually in the gym working out and then creating into like a artistic vision. After that, the team would come up to me and they're like, wow, dude, like, we love that. That really hyped us up. Led on to game times. Then I'd like make these fun, groovy edits to all their games. Some would be hype. Some, have you heard of was it Sugar Hill Gang? It's gonna kill me. I have to find the song. I'll find the song later. But hip hop, the hippity hip hip hop. You don't stop the rocking. And
keep going.
It's a fun groovy song. But the thing that I loved about, like, the team loved about the videos that I was making was that it wasn't all just hype videos, very intense. Like, I made them fun. I made them fun where even the parents were getting like, wow, who's making these videos?
It wasn't all to Hell's Bells, right?
Yeah, like every.
Like every hype video, Hell's Bells.
Yes, literally. And so I was like, the thing I looked at, I was like, I was having such a fun time with it. I was around people who were loving what I was doing. I was comfortable with the guys, and I was comfortable with the sport too, because I knew how to play it. And being a videographer on those sidelines, I don't think I've ever seen any other videographer get as hyped as I was on those sidelines, man. I'll tell you what, I felt like a coach being in that game. I was screaming and I was videoing at the same time. And I think all the parents were like, who the hell is this kid? Like, right now, like, on the sidelines.
Refs throw a flag on you.
I wouldn't believe it. Actually, there were a couple games.
Get that guy out.
Sideline morning.
Your video guy, he's out of control.
So it kind of comes home, from your sophomore year, and you kind of tell you, say, man, I don't think college is for me, and I don't know how to tell my mom and dad.
That was right on. Literally, because after I was like, you know what? At the time I was getting into it, and at this, I was creating a lot of good stuff, and I felt like I had a big momentum coming back, and I was like, I came to him. I was like, I really think I can do something with this, and I was like, I just don't see college being my thing. what I've done with the camera, I've taught myself all on YouTube. My buddy who was on tour, he's like, hey, listen, I'm going to give you this guy to watch. You watch him. It's almost like going to school. And I mean, he was right. I literally learned everything off YouTube or from him. Came back and I was like, I'm having a hard time kind of figuring out whether I like want to tell my parents like, hey, college isn't for me, just kind of what to do, or just suck it up and get through the 4 years. And,
he was scared to death to tell his parents. I mean, he didn't know how that was going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my dad's definitely more optimistic. Like my dad, I mean, some of his stories back when he was in like high school, not in college. I mean, like, he sold his books to go on a cruise ship and then like dropped out of Florida State his sophomore year. And then he went back community college and then went back and finished up at Florida State. My dad's been very optimistic and was always like entrepreneurish, which I love. So I could have like talks about it with him about that. But at the end of the day, it was still like, hey, you should get your degree. My mom was still like, you know what? Like, I just don't know enough about this, like what you're doing to sign off on it. But she's like, at the end of the day, piece of paper, no one can take that away from you.
So what was the decision? You come home sophomore year, you have that conversation with mom and dad?
That's the thing. I had it with them, and they were just, I don't want to say they were on board. They definitely knew what I was doing, but they were
trying
like,
to push the college on it. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll go back to college. But then at the same time this was happening, I had a financial hold from my spring semester. So if I didn't pay off that financial hold, then I wasn't allowed to go into my junior year.
Okay. And
the thing that was kind of like, it was a sticky situation because at the end of my sophomore year, I signed on a house with 5 other guys. And so I already signed a lease? Yes, I already signed a lease. Yeah. Come to like the first week of August, get up there and I realized that I can't pay off this financial hold. I just don't have the money right now.
Right.
I just can't do it. And so lived up in that house and wasn't going to school, but was creating free hype videos for the lacrosse team, was working 9 to 9 at UPS. That's where it really hit me because I'm still creating videos, but I'm working a job that honestly is just killing me right now. It's like,
You said UPS.
Yes, UPS,
I mean, that's hard work.
Yeah. I mean, especially going from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. It's like, and then it's like I get back and then I'm sleeping pretty much the entire during the day. And it's like, I'm on totally different hours than all my roommates are at. And I think.
So let me stop you. You're there, you're working UPS, you're doing the videos. Mom and dad think you're going to class?
No. Oh, no. They knew. They knew. Yeah.
Okay,
they knew I wasn't. Yeah. They knew I wasn't going to college. And that's the thing, too, because it was definitely like, I think I was definitely going, that was really where I faced like a
life
in general. I was like, you know what?
That's I taught him about life and how it sucks sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. It sucked because it's like, damn, like I see all these roommates I'm living with, they're going out, they're partying, doing all that. And then it's like, I'm creating videos, I'm going to UPS, and then I sleep all the entire time you guys are awake.
Right.
Great college experience.
Yeah. And then
school hard knocks.
Right?
That's right, buddy. School hard knocks.
Absolutely. And that's where like it just I kind of all hit me because I was like facing like anxiety and I was going against my gut too. And inside my gut I was like, man, I really believe that if I put 100% into chasing after my dreams of becoming a videographer, good things could happen, and being around Ed and who's had one of the most amazing success stories and has been one of the best mentors to me. It's just like, I kind of had like an Ed moment. I was like, you know what? Like maybe this is your time to be an entrepreneur. After my lease was up, moved back home and I've been living back home with my parents, just paying off my debt. And I've been going full force with just videographer.
Where's it taking you since you made the move back home and you're full time in the video world? Where's that led you today?
This is where it gets good.
Yeah, it has been. It's been incredible, honestly. So, when I got back, I was like, you know what? I'm going to come back. I'm going to still clean trucks. And so I did that on the weekends. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to focus on during the week, just doing video work. So one of my really good buddies from Central, he was actually a grade above me. His name is Benny Snell Jr. He's the
Snell,
Snell, yeah. So he's Steelers running back, Kentucky legend.
Yeah. Westerville legend.
Yeah, Westerville legend too. So he actually I was creating hype videos at the time for myself. So I'd go up to a couple people and be like, hey, you want a free video? And then I'd pretty much turn an hour worth of shooting into a really cool montage hype video.
Right.
And then I'd post it on Instagram. And next thing you know, it started getting thousands and thousands of views and likes. And so I would send this stuff to Benny. I was like, hey, you know what? We need to get Mr. Snell. Yeah, something like this. and so it was cool because then like after a while, he started seeing my work and he's like, wow, like, he's clearly liked what he was seeing. And so one day he calls me up and he's like, hey man, I got a big week coming up. We're actually going back to Lexington. And he had like 2 kids camps, 2 commercial shoots.
This was when Benny's now a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Yeah. So this was actually this past summer.
No kidding.
Yeah. This was actually this past summer.
Wow.
So you guys were friends in high school?
Yeah. So we were friends in high school. Okay. So yeah, that's the craziest thing too. Was like going down to Lexington. I went to school with him. You know, I went to being in high school with him, playing football with him.
Right.
Then it's like going down to Kentucky and just like it was crazy. It was just crazy. It was like
he was a star.
He was a legend.
Oh, he was a legend. He was like a god. It was
For those of you who don't know, Benny Snell has, like, if he lifts up his shirt, that was like his trademark. In big letters, it says Snell, yeah. Like, instead of hell yeah, but Snell, yeah. So every time he would score, he'd pull his shirt up and say, Snell, yeah.
So is that where Aaron Rodgers got that move?
Yeah. He took it from Benny.
Hey, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
So you're going down to, Lexington to help him with one of his camps, kid camp?
Yeah, so it was actually an entire week. So it was a wild week. So as soon as we got down there, we actually had to go. He was actually doing book bag giveaways for elementary school with kids who are just kind of just grew up less fortunate and, you know, don't have the support system like that a lot of us do. Right. And so it was cool just because there was 2 book bag giveaways, there was 2 kids camps and 2 commercial shoots. And I mean, it was just and then he even had an interview, and it was just a full on packed week. And so pretty much what I did was created 2 hype recap videos of the kids camps, and then pretty much I created 1 long vlog style video of the wrap up of the entire week and how the week went.
Okay.
So at that time, he had his assistants there from Quality Control, music and sports signing agency right now. So that's who Benny was signed with, is Quality Control.
Okay.
And his assistants were there, and so very nice ladies, and
he got a big smile on his face when he said that.
I mean, like, it was just so cool because, I mean, they were just so personable, and I could relate to them. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes when you hear about like agents and all that, you just think of like very like strict asshole. Strict to business, all that. So
Bob Sugar.
Yeah, but it was so nice, like nice meeting them. And then they just saw how fast I was just getting work back to Benny, and the quality I was giving back to him. I made a very good impression on them. And so then after we were done with Benny Snell week, I got they were like, hey, listen, we have another job for you. We have a guy who's
a week later?
I'd say, pretty much a week later. Yeah, a week later.
Nice.
So
they start flying around the countryside.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it was like they were in talks. They were like, hey, listen, we got this guy. His name's Jermaine Johnson. He's a transfer from Georgia. He's about to sign with us, and we'd love for you. We pretty much want to fly you down there. We want you to work with him for 2 days, and then pretty much just create a epic hype video of his announcement signing with us. Hook him up with content, so he has a line of content to have for post to come. So I was like, oh, absolutely. So then a couple weeks later.
So let me stop you. How old are you at this time?
22. This was all this all happening.
Yeah, this last year has been a whirlwind for him, man.
Deuce.
I mean, you talk about the American dream, dude. This kid's living it right now.
Nice job, man.
You single?
Oh, I'm single. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
all you female listeners out there, I'm sure we pissed you off a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the offensive guard, Packers.
Yeah. Maybe he's into OGs. I don't know. So, 22 years old, you finish up with Benny Snell, and through his agency, they hook you up with
several
Jermaine
more
Johnson.
jobs.
Jermaine Johnson, right? Yeah. So go ahead. You go down there and you shoot his work, right?
Yeah. So the funny thing is too. So Jermaine, he's actually in the JUCO league and went from JUCO to Georgia.
Okay.
Stud defensive end. I mean, he's just a monster. After Georgia, he went to transfer to FSU. And so while this is all happening, my background a little bit. My dad is an FSU alumni.
Oh, no kidding.
Just brainwashed us with FSU. So
what year was it? They were the self-proclaimed champions of the national champions.
Was that 2012? I want to say 2012.
Yeah, they didn't get recognized as they were the only undefeated team. Didn't get recognized, so they self-proclaimed themselves national champions.
Yeah. And he's like, that was like, yeah, dadgummit. That was like the last year they had the crystal ball too, I believe. It was like when they won. So yeah. So while that's all happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just God's sign a little bit. I'm like, wow, like the fact that like my second like big client is someone who's like from my dad's alma mater. I'm like, this is insane. So they flew me down to Tallahassee, and then next thing you know, I just started working with Jermaine, and we created some just really good content. Very personal guy too, which was awesome, and started working with him. Created the hype video, and the next thing you know, like a week later, gave the hype video back to Quality Control, and they were just raving about it. I mean, they were just sending it to pretty much everybody in Quality Control, and they're like, this is incredible.
This guy's good.
I mean, like, and I was like, I made a very good impression. So I was like, wow. I was like, let's go. Obviously, any videographer, when you're working with somebody, you want to have that should be a goal. And so that was a huge goal for me. I made a very good impression. And then after that, it led me on to working with another athlete. His name's Derek Curiel. I believe he's still in high school, which is the crazy thing. And he's just a stud baseball player, and he's supposed to be a highly recruited MLB draft pick next year.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in the day and age of, what is it, image, likeness?
Name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
NIL, yeah.
Yeah, that's what bringing him alive. Yeah, he's got to create content for these guys.
Nice.
I guess is what they bring to the table too. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Absolutely. And I think the thing that helps, that's so nice is because I'm at a relatable age too. I'm 22 years old. The thing that's nice too is I love the thing that I pick up most from working with Benny and Jermaine is you see guys who are better than you, seeing how they go about a day-to-day life, it motivates you. And it makes you just see their work ethic and what they put into the table and how focused and disciplined they are. And it's wow, it's great being around like-minded individuals who have a mindset and a goal of where they want to be in a couple years from now or what they want to accomplish this season. It's cool because when I come back from that, I can apply that to my own life. Yeah. And I'm you know what? This is I want to be a known videographer one day. I want to be, I got big goals. I got big dreams. And it's cool just to be able to apply that what I learned from them to my life.
I'm going to stop you for a second, though. You said when you look around, you see guys that are better than you. I took exception to that statement, right? I don't think they're better than you. Maybe they are in sports, but your talents lie in a different realm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I think their work ethic and what they're so for example, Benny and Jermaine, their passion is football.
Right.
And their work ethic every day just to hustle in that sport and get better every day. I'm wow, that's what I love because I'm that's what I want to do with my passion with videography.
Sure.
I'm if I have that same work ethic and passion that they do for football, it's almost I want to apply that to what I'm good at. Videography.
It's almost like Ed. You're looking at Ed here, he had the same passion and drive, but it was in the area of trucks.
Yes. Yeah.
That's one of the first life lessons I taught Wilson. I go, listen, Wilson, let me tell you something. I go, life sucks. I go, and to really be honest, most every day sucks. But if
he's an optimist,
you got to go to work every single day. So you better find something you love, And so my love was, big trucks and equipment. Wilson's loves the videography stuff.
Right.
And he said something here a minute, made me think of something that he's battled all along. So while Wilson has this focus on getting better in his career and what he's going to do for his life, all his college buddies and high school buddies going, hey, man, come party with me. Come party. Heck, how come you ain't hanging out with? And so Wilson's had to overcome all these little nuances, you know what I mean, of growing up with young kids and what the quote unquote status quo is, you know what I mean? And he's run past that stuff, man. I mean, to me, this kid's like the American dream, you know what I mean? And his parents sit there and, Wilson, what are you doing? You're just sitting there in your pajamas at the kitchen table playing with your computer. What are you doing? As soon as I get done with this, Dad, I get a check for $1,200. He goes, what? You know what I mean? So for me, it's been amazing just to kind of watch it evolve. You know what I mean? And I mean, look at this kid, 22 years old. You ever see anybody with a drive that he's got for today's 22-year-old kids? You know what I mean? So I mean,
and it's not that he came from a background of need. He's coming from a well-to-do family.
Yeah.
I would imagine you're much like all of our kids. They didn't want for much growing up, but to have that kind of drive and that understanding it's really refreshing.
Yeah, it's refreshing to me. And like I said, man, just one of the things for me is it's this is a young man that's literally taking what 25, 30 plus people have just guided him about whatever their little comments of life may be. And he's taken every one of those little comments to heart to be where he's at today. And his future can be whatever he wants it to be, man. I mean, he's kicking ass now,
Let me ask you, and not that it always comes down to money, right? But for anybody listening, okay, they're listening to the story of Wilson and they're saying, okay, this kid is big time into videography. He's good. He's starting to make contacts. The same thing I told Ed, without painting yourself in a corner with the IRS, but what does a typical job, Jermaine Johnson, what are you pulling away from that financially?
So I go based on 30 seconds, a minute 30, 2 minutes. I just go based on per 30 seconds, but for 30 seconds, I charge $600. For a minute, I charge $1,050, minute 30, $1,300.
And that's the final product.
Yeah. And
whatever you're producing, if it comes out to 30 seconds, a minute and a half, you got a pay scale.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it might be 2 hours of content to get that 30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing
is, the IRS is listening. That's not.
Yeah. But that includes also filming, editing, turnaround time of 1 week or less, and sound design. And a lot of people will sometimes have like arguments against me, like, oh, dude, like that's like your prices are through the roof. They're not though, because if you add up the hours with time filming, just like that could be 2 to 3, 4 to 5 hours, and then time editing. When I got back from Jermaine's, I had 5 videos like do that week, and I think I had 3 all-nighters, and I was just hustling on work, busting out work, and I was like, you know what? I mean, this is my job. You know, I love this. I love what I'm doing, but there's so much that goes into it. Whereas like you see a lot of these production companies, you got one person who does sound design, one person who films, one person who edits, and they each have their own jobs. Where it's like me, it's like
You're it.
I'm it, and you know, I want to be.
You're the team.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like I want to be as versatile as possible. That is my goal.
Team
Mishik. Exactly. Team Mishik.
Team Mishik.
And I want to be, my thing is just like, I want to know everything. I want to know sound design. I want to know color grading. I want to know all of it, because it's like my goal would to be run my own production company and to show people, young entrepreneurs who are aspiring videographers, hey, this is how I learned. Let me teach you my ropes of how I taught myself and learned. So
Pay it forward.
And that's kind of the theme with this whole story, right?
Yeah.
Ed brings this kid, takes him under his wing, says, listen, shut your mouth, listen with your ears, and I'll kind of give you the groundwork.
Yeah.
Wilson's taken that to heart, and now he's ready to do the same to somebody else. I think this is an awesome story, especially the fact that you're 22 years old.
Yes, sir.
And he's already achieving this level of success. How many jobs? Is it starting to snowball for you yet?
The crazy thing is actually one thing that I'm trying to get better with is my consistency on jobs. So like when I got back with like Jermaine, for example, like I had 5 videos due in 1 week. And then after I was done with those 5 videos, I kind of had like a week, 2 weeks where I was like, I didn't have anything kind of coming in. What I'm trying to get better is trying to at least have like just a consistency of clients, and just, okay, so whether it be 1 or 2 clients a week, have that enough where I can manage it, get it back to them, and then just have something prepared for the next week, following week. So right now it's picking up a lot. It is picking up very fast, and that's the thing I love about it. It's like a new client is just a new opportunity, the way I look at it, and it's a new connection. So Cleveland, I actually was just up in Cleveland. I'm going to be working with a new gym. It's called Rip City Fitness.
Sounds badass.
Yeah, it's a great gym. Honestly, very nice. My aunt actually worked out there, and while I was actually up there watching her dog this past week, and she's like, "Hey, you know, my trainer would love to get in contact with you and just talk to you about potentially getting a video for his gym." Went up there, talked to him. Amazing guy, just goal driven, which I love, and very mind liked. I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I got that coming in. I have some future work too with this Derek Curio kid, which would be awesome as well. Other videos too with one of my neighbors. He runs a coffee shop called Sweetwater's Coffee and Tea. It's right over on Polaris. I don't know if it's by Kitchen Social.
Yep.
There's a lot coming in, which is I'm very grateful for and blessed. And I just look at it as a new opportunity to get better and seize the day.
Quick question there, Wilson. What was that management company there that had you do the filming with the players?
Quality Control.
They offered you a contract, actually, and we decided it may not be best to take it at this time since he's so creative.
You his agent?
So that's the thing. Is like they were talking about, they wanted to put me on, what's it called?
Salary.
No, not a salary. It's more
like a retainer.
Retainer. That's it. Yeah, retainer. And so that was the talk, and I was like, I'm at a point right now where it's like they have 2 sides. They got the football side, they got the baseball side, and so I've been doing work with the baseball side, and the baseball side's been accepting my invoices like that. Yeah. No questions asked. Then I got the football side. They're kind of trying to like budget me down to like, hey, you know, we got people who are doing it for this price. And I'm like, well, like if I do it for that price, I'm not making any money. You know what I mean? Right. They're trying to, and I'm like, you know, like you guys are in the same business. How is one side accepting like without any questions, and you guys are trying to budget nickel and dime me in a way? That's where I kind of like, I realized that like we haven't had official agreements on a retainer, but I've just realized, you know what? I know my worth.
I got skills.
I know exactly. Like, you know, like I know my worth. Yeah. I know the time and it's taken to get to where I'm at. Anywhere near where I want to be? No, you know, but that's like, that's the best thing about like life and having goals is like, you know what? You're never going to be, yes, you can get to that place you want to be, but there's always going to be something else beyond that.
That reminded me of a story years ago. It's probably, when did we lose to Ohio State? When I say we, when did we lose to Florida in the national championship? 06?
It might have been 08. I don't know, somewhere in there.
Anyway, my wife and I went out to the game, and her college roommate married this attorney out there in Phoenix, and we went out for a beautiful dinner and steak dinner and drinks and wine and all kinds of stuff. And, you know, I knew he was an attorney, and I looked at him and I said, how much do you charge an hour? Just curiosity. And he goes, $3,500. That's my
Lord Jesus.
And I had some liquid courage in me. So I said, how in the world can you charge $3,500? And I'll never forget this.
And sleep at night.
He took a drink of wine And he looked at me and he goes, "You have to pay me $3,500 an hour." I said, "Okay." And he goes, "I'm a patent attorney. If you don't pay me $3,500 an hour, the lawsuits start at $10 million." And I'm like, if I need a patent, I know where I'm going. And I'm not questioning the price.
Yeah, exactly.
And that literally happened in a 20-second time span. It just reminded me when you were talking about that. So
Yeah.
I guess stand your ground, know your worth.
No, absolutely. And that's one thing, like being young and like just, running this on my own. I'm learning the hiccups of the business and, just knowing your worth and understanding that business background a little bit. That's one thing that's definitely, it's been a challenge a little bit because people try to like kind of negotiate like, oh, like, no, that your price isn't that. But I'm like, no, I got balls, this is my price. You either take it or leave it. Take it or leave it, So it's been great though. And I love everything about it. It just, it's a learning process. I like look at it. It's a new learning every day, and it's a day to get better. So
that's perfect. That is the American success story, right?
Amen.
That's
brother.
contagious, man. I'm sitting here like I'm wishing I
want to go.
My kids are sitting here.
I'm cycling through my talents. I'm trying to think what can I use
today. I mean, where do you get 22-year-old kids that have the drive his kids got? You know what I mean? He was lost. He just needed a little guidance.
Right.
So I want to tell you, young kids out there, you younger generation, like you can be whatever you want to be, boys. You just got to work for it. That's all there is to it. Well, that's America.
Exactly right, Ed. And the other thing is, we touched on this earlier. He went past his buddies saying, "Hey, come party with us. Come do the stupid thing." He's like, "Nah, I got bigger dreams. I got bigger aspirations."
Yeah.
There's so much that's distracting kids today from doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I think if you're brave enough, courageous enough,
strong enough
to push past that and say, "Nah, I'll see you on down the road. We'll catch up at the
Mm-hmm.
reunion, whatever."
Yeah, Wilson is light years ahead of any of his buddies. Exactly. Light years.
Well, you said earlier, hey, what are you too good for us? Yeah.
Actually,
I am. I mean, in this way,
not to be self-righteous, but
yeah.
It's just weird because like I don't know, like everyone's like, everyone's in college. They have something promised them. Like, oh, hey, I'm going to get this job. Like, I have my degree now. I can get this job. And it's like with me, it's like no one owes me anything. Every day's a new day. I have to go out and get this job opportunity. If I don't, then I'm going to be like, I'm just pretty much sitting there twiddling with my thumbs. Like, wondering what the hell am I doing with my life? And that's the thing I love, though. That's so exciting. Is like every day's a new day. I control what my destiny is, and that's the thing. Is like
America.
A lot of
that is the American dream right there.
Yeah, and it's just like sometimes it's understanding now because as I get older, and I tell my friends no, it's like what, like I know I'm doing it for the right reasons because I'm landing these clients and I'm growing my business. But the toughest thing is like my friends, I think they don't really understand sometimes exactly like the process that I'm taking right now. It's like, what I do, it takes a lot of time and effort. If I have a deadline by Monday, I have a deadline by Monday. I got to give up my Saturday. I got to give up my going out and all that. And it's definitely hard because it's like, what do you see on social media? Oh, your friends getting drunk, having a fun time, doing this at this place, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, sometimes I find myself when I go out, though, I almost feel like I take a step behind in a way. Yeah. Not in a bad, like nothing against them. Like, I love my friends to death. Don't get me wrong. But I'm saying I almost feel like I take a step from behind from my craft.
Not moving forward.
Yeah,
well, you recognize the fact that it's almost causing you to take a step backwards, and it's taking you away from what you understand your goal is. So
contagious too, man.
Oh, it absolutely is. Here's a 22-year-old kid inspiring three grown
adult men
to get busy, man. Yeah. So
my grandfather always told me to find what you love, and it won't be work.
Amen.
And I think that's a classic example of that right there.
I think that is the epitome of the American dream, is if you can profit from something you love, right? That's the biggest search in life is, what do I do that I love that I can make a living out of and still love it? Wilson, it sounds like you're on that path.
Absolutely. So, if I had to say anything to anybody out there, it's just go with your gut. Go with your gut. There's so many times when I'm looking back and previously where I'm like, I realized when I didn't go with my gut is when I realized, damn, I shot myself in the foot a little bit. I started getting anxiety because I missed out on an opportunity. Yeah. And they always say, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's what I've been doing. And it has taken me to a lot of amazing places and working with the best of the best. Yeah. And I'm not even a quarter way there yet. And so just to anybody out there who's listening to this, just go with your gut.
Trust your instincts.
Say that one more time. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I like that.
I honestly, I love it too. It's something like something I just want to get better with. Being in the most uncomfortable situations, the best situations. When I work with new clients, I'm always uncomfortable because
you grow.
You grow. And that's where you see the growth is being in uncomfortable situations and adapting to that.
Well, Wilson, take my hat off to you. You are an example of the American dream. You are an example of why we are all proud to be an American, because there's no place on the planet that gives you this kind of opportunity. The kid's coming out of high school. He starts making money. He's determined. He starts figuring out his passion, and he turns it into a career path. And mom and dad are kind of scratching their head and going, you know what, this isn't what exactly we had in mind for my son, for my good son Wilson. But when they step back and look and going, you know what, he's a success story. Let him run with it.
I got one final question.
Yeah.
You ever consider running for president?
Nowadays,
Because I'm pulling this tape in 20 years.
Nowadays, absolutely. I might
Come on,
think
announce.
about
What is it? 2062? What, I don't know.
Whatever it is, man.
Yeah.
Could be worse than what we got now, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Third grader do better than that guy.
Yeah.
Well, Wilson, Ed Deem, we're glad you came and visit us in studio. We always like having in studio guests. Wilson, congratulations on your success, and I wish you continued success. And you're welcome back here anytime, my man.
Coach Scooter, I thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and this is going to be tough. I mean, all this positivity, and we're going to have to get into an episode of airing of grievances. Okay, thanks, Wilson. Thanks,
No
Ed.
problem.
How do I get started doing voiceovers?
Hi, I'm Ron Allen, owner of Big Voice Productions. You get started in voiceovers with quality training. We've trained over 500 people in the art and business of voiceovers. You can train online or at our studios here in Columbus, and financing options available. Email bigvoiceproductions@gmail.com and let's get you started in voiceovers now. bigvoiceproductions@gmail.com. We teach you everything about voiceovers.
All right, welcome back, folks. We are ready for that time of day, the airing of grievances. This episode brought to you by Fold of Honor, honoring their sacrifice by educating their legacy.
Can I get an amen to that one?
Yes, sir, man. Fantastic organization.
With the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
All right, so Scooter has got a grievance lined up for today. This one happened last night. This is like current events.
Yeah, this one's real current.
So my man Scooter was at a golf tournament with his two daughters, and his mother-in-law was there to
No, I wasn't there, but
Oh, you weren't there?
no, that's part. I'll get into that story.
So his mother-in-law,
Mother.
Yeah. Mother, this is the queen bee.
Yeah.
She's at the tournament to cheer on her two granddaughters.
One granddaughter, but the other one was there, but long story.
Okay.
So we queuing up
Let
what
me-
is this thing called? The Dream Ski? Out of China.
Yeah, this is some crappy clock from Walmart's.
It's Amazon. Same thing, though.
It's
right?
been
Amazon,
bouncing off the
Walmart.
wall a couple times. I'm surprised it's still ticking. All right, we got 5 minutes queued up. Scooter, my man Scooter's going to go, and he's going to rant, and we're going to see where this goes. All right, buddy. You ready?
Ready.
You're on.
All right, we're on the clock right now. So, yeah, like you said there yesterday, my mom was helping us out. My wife's a teacher, and I had to work, and so we had to get, these golf matches start at 3:30 in the afternoon. They're hard to get up there. So Grandma says, hey, I want to go watch them.
This is middle school golf.
Middle school golf.
Okay.
Yep. So second hole, they're just getting started. Apparently, my mom trips over a tree root. I guess, I don't know. We haven't determined if it was a tree root, a tree stump,
Or a
something.
foot.
Yeah, but it was something to do with trees, which is ironic about that because her father was chief of forestry for the great state of Ohio and absolutely loved the city that we broadcast from, Knock'em Ohio.
That's right.
Anyway, so she trips on a stump. We still don't know what that is. I mean, somebody said they need to paint that orange. Face plants and ends up shattering her left shoulder.
Ouch.
Dislocates it. Ouch. Exactly. So,
Was there a squad involved?
well, the squad does get involved. So I get a phone call from my youngest daughter who's there as a spectator with her grandmother, and I answer the phone, and all I get is, hey, they call her Mimi. Hey, Mimi fell, and she's okay. Okay. And then all of a sudden
She's
there's
average.
some other lady's on the phone going, she fell. She's okay. We can't get her up. We've called the squad. And I'm like, okay, now I've got to shut down my day. and, get up there and see what the heck is going on. So I get up there, they're in the squad, and now it's a situation of, if she probably needs to go to the ER. So who's going to take her? The ambulance, or am I? And my 12-year-old is sitting in the ambulance with her going, this is cool.
You need somebody with a pickup truck. Throw her in the bed and haul ass.
In the bed to pick up truck. So anyway, by all this is said, the ER is not that far away. So it's about 3:45, 4 o'clock by the time we walk into the ER. It's not real busy. All right, we're thinking we're going to get in and get out. She's in there until about 10:30.
Wait, what time did you get there?
We were there probably good 6 hours, maybe 6.5.
You get there at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You get out at almost 11?
It was just shy of 11.
Good
probably about
Lord.
10:30-ish. I don't know. I was getting so frustrated.
What was the hindrance? What was holding you guys up?
I don't know. Good question.
I mean, this is a woman that's like, this is a pretty decent shoulder injury, right?
Yeah. I mean, we don't know. I mean, she's in pain. So, but we walk in there and we've got a room full of people with the sniffles. Obviously, then when we know going in, all right, we got to get our masks out. That's the first time I've worn a mask in years, but I'm walking into a COVID cesspool. So whatever, but and then it's just a constant flow of people showing COVID symptoms, and it's a big giant room, and they're checking into the ER, at the ER, they're checking in. I mean, hell, I could diagnose them.
Yeah.
I can't smell. I can't taste. Have you been around anybody with COVID? Yeah, my wife's got it. All right, you got COVID. Get out. But me being at some levels, I'm like, man, this is just a free ticket to rip my ass and fart because nobody in this place can smell it. But
that's what kills me, man. People talk about these masks and how effective they are. They're basically made out of the same material as your drawers, as your underwear,
Hanes.
right? And let me tell you something. You could rip a fart, and somebody on the other side of the room can almost instantaneously smell that thing.
Yeah.
And you're telling me these masks are effective?
I mean, I just want to go up there and go, can you smell that? No. All right, you got COVID. Get out of here. So, I mean, we got this whole place. And then, she's in pain. I felt bad for this other lady who comes in a wheelchair, looks like a perfectly healthy woman, comes in a wheelchair. Her husband's going, I think she's got kidney stones. She's literally like, she's screaming like she's giving birth.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, she is in downright pain. She's over there in the corner. By now, there's no sit. You can't sit in the emergency room. Yeah, it's standing room only. And she's sitting in a wheelchair over in the corner. Her husband's standing there, and she's barfing into a bag.
Oh, Lord.
And, but yet she can't get in to go see these people because they got the sniffles, or they can't smell, they can't taste, they got COVID. I get it, and then so my mom goes back, and one of the things the first doctor said, if I could have seen you 2 hours before, this would have been so easy to fix.
Oh my Lord!
So we're sitting out there with all the Mr. and Mrs. Sniffles and and this other poor kid, he looked like a high school football player, snapped his ankle or something, and I felt bad for him. I mean, there's people in pain. They need to get into the hospital. So I guess that was my first real recollection of, so the vaccine's meant to keep you out of the hospital, right? So now I'm like, all right, I get it. I've witnessed it firsthand. Get the healthcare system open. Oh, there's the dream ski going off. So I don't know. That's my airing of grievances for today. But this one was hard because I can't come on here and crap. I can't come in here and bitch about anything after that exceptional guest that we just had on here, Mr. Positivity, who he pisses excellence. Yeah. And, come on here and talk about something negative. So for all you listeners out there that care, my mom is fine, but it was just a little.
What was the final diagnosis?
Well, I mean, they had to get it back into socket first, and then they had to do multiple x-rays. Had to do a CAT scan, and then yet she's still got to get in to see her orthopedic doctor.
Something's broke, though, right?
Yeah, she did have a fracture.
Here's my solution. Not that this matters. Nobody's going to give a rat's ass, okay?
Oh, come on, man. Our listeners will.
You're sitting in the ER. They should have like an arrow. Sniffles, congestion, this side of the room, legitimate injuries, opposite side of the room, right? And they should work through the legitimate injuries, leave the sniffles and congestion and whatever to whenever they can fit them in.
Yeah, I mean, this is American Exception.
Right?
We love our military, but I kept going to a military analogy. Now it's like the battlefield here. We're picking who we're going to take care of, right?
Exactly. It's triage.
Yeah, so
common sense, people.
Yeah, common sense. That's the moral of the story on this show.
Common sense. It'll solve 80% of your problems right out of the gate.
What an episode, though. It was an awesome episode with Wilson. Sorry to be Debbie Downer here.
I'll leave you with this. Your daughters
hear it.
now have an incredible memory of Grandma.
So
Right?
what-
They're going to be in their 20s. They're going to say, I remember Grandma came to my golf match and she did a face plant and the whole world stopped.
All right, so we have a funny story about that, too. So the story gets better. So I get home at 11 o'clock at night. My mother is now going to come stay the night at our house because we don't think that she can go stay at her place.
Sure.
So I'm talking to my daughter who was playing golf. She was in the second fairway, getting ready to hit her second shot, apparently. She says she sees Mimi go down, face plants. She says he doesn't see her go up. I said, what was going through your mind? She goes, honestly, I thought she was dead. And I'm like, then what did you do? She's like, well, I kept playing.
That's right. Well, she'd want me to keep going.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, this stuff is not that important, sports fans. So, especially middle school golf. Anyway,
Well, there you have it. We got airing your grievances. This is real life stuff, right? Happened 24 hours ago in the ER with Scooter and his mama.
yep. So, what an episode. We'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks again for listening to American Exceptionalism.